Detroit.
Detroit.
What up, though? So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please.
Please.
I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected.
I mean, this is Eminem, who wrote a track about putting his girlfriend in the boot of the car and driving it off a cliff.
And here to tell
You know?
much
No,
more
that
about
was Slim Shady. That's a different guy.
Oh, sure.
President Barack Obama.
That'll get us taken off that little bit of music, so I'll just talk over it a little bit.
You know, I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous. But I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. Now I notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
I don't remember who it was, but we recently had a New Zealand politician quote Eminem. Do you remember that? And it was just shocking. I think Obama does it with style. And good to still see, though, that, you know, people are still calling him a war criminal. I guess it's just commentary on, and it's like when you think, when you look back wistfully to the Rhodes Scholar that was fucking George W. Bush, when your example is now Donald Trump.
I was talking about that at dinner tonight. Yeah, simpler times.
Yeah. I've got another clip to play, but
killed like 1.3 million Iraqis or whatever. Yeah. But you know, simpler times.
I've got something else. I mean, there's so much going on in America. We could do this the whole show every single night. But yeah, really, really interesting, funny, and actually a very good point made from Tim Walz today when he starts talking about Donald Trump's running mate.
Well, look, I'm not going to waste all the time I'm in. I'm going to talk about his running mate.
Get him. Get him.
His running mate, Elon Musk.
That's really
where
good.
Is Senator Vance, after he got asked the simplest question in the world at the debate, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? And after 2 weeks, he finally said, no, he didn't. That's where he's been spending his time. But that's it. So, look, Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it.
It's good. It's good messaging, delivered well.
Think about it. Think about that. That guy is literally the richest man in the world, spending millions of dollars to help Donald Trump buy an election. Now look, they're saying the quiet parts out loud now because Donald Trump has already promised that he would put Elon in charge of government regulations that oversee the businesses that Elon runs. That's a hell of a buy. He could spend billions to make more than 10 billion on the back end. So in other words, Donald Trump, in front of the eyes of the American public, is promising corruption. That's what he's promising you. And you know what? I don't believe he keeps many promises, but he'll keep that one. I'll guarantee you he'll keep that one.
It's good, man. It's good. It's good messaging, delivered well. I think I've showed before, I think we've all seen when he was talking to his daughter about eating turkey at the state fair. You know, he's good, but the messaging is strong. That's a strong message. And now with Elon Musk giving out $1 million a day to people who register to vote and sign his basically loyalty oath. There's questions coming up around, is he allowed to do that? Is he breaking a law? So you've got these people who are literally looking to buy this election. And it's so weird to say this, Chewy. I mean, there are people who are saying it's over for Trump. Like, there are some pretty senior academics and, you know, pollsters and commentators and journalists saying the polling's, I'll believe it when I see it. It still feels margin of error, knife edge to me. Sir, thoughts?
Yeah. I have been hurt before.
Yeah.
It is an indictment on the US that it's as close as it is.
100%.
You know, like there's lots of comments, like when we talked about Obama, people rightly bringing up the fact that his reputation hangs on the fact that he's authorized more illegal drone strikes than anybody before or since, and that is true. It's the duality of someone in that position, though. He was an incredibly influential leader. His African American president. You know, you can't get, like, as I said in the chat after that, find me a US president that hasn't done some really sketchy international war crimesy shit. I don't know how far you have to go back, but they're all corrupted. Their system is corrupted. The Americans haven't come up with a system yet that they can't fuck up beyond all recognition.
Yeah.
And we are just looking at the circus that is their presidential election, and people are still going, well, I don't know who to vote for. It's 50-50. A senile old rapist that everybody laughs at, that is rapidly deteriorating. Look, I urge anyone, like, Trump has always said bananas shit, but you go back and watch him in his last run, he is 80% more coherent than he is now. He is a random word generator at this point.
Yeah.
And people are still going, well, you know, I like him. You know, do you like any of his policies? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He hates the people that I hate.
He does as well. You're talking about the first African American president. He does represent, you know, I mean, like, because Obama can always have that on the CV, right? He is a glass ceiling breaker, but so is Donald Trump on some level, because he is like the very first Oompa Loompa president. So,
God,
you know.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I thought you were going to say that. Like I find it sketchy when some people go, well, actually, the first African American president was Clinton.
Yeah, because
I've heard that said before. I'm like, that's kind of fucked. Yeah, like, I just don't know how to call it. Like, this shouldn't be close. No. Like, by any reasonable standard. But this is the trap that we have here. When you start talking about an American election, you're coming at it from a point of rationality and things that should make sense. But then you've forgotten that we're talking about a US election where nothing fucking makes sense. The Electoral College is fucked.
Yeah.
You know, even down to the fact that the Electoral College works at, like, it's pretty much the wording that the delegates have to vote for the popular vote in the way of their state, but they don't have to. They can just do whatever they want. You know, and we're guaranteed to look down at months and months of litigation and fucking calls for recounts. And that's if we're not looking at some sort of armed insurrection at the other end of the scale. It is going to be a shit show. And all of us want something like what we're used to here, where you tune in a day, you watch the votes come in, you get your answer, job done. Tie a bow on it, happy, sad, away we go. I still fear that this is an election that could break America.
Yeah.
Are we at that point yet? It feels like we're watching the fall of Rome.